There is a prophecy in Daniel which gives us a sign of how close we are to the close of probation and the return of Jesus Christ. That prophecy is found in Daniel chapter 11, and specifically verse 45 of Daniel 11. It reads, "And he shall plant the tabernacles of his palace between the seas in the glorious holy mountain, yet he shall come to his end, and none shall help him." The he spoken of in this verse is the King of the North, and if you read through our page on the King of the North, a link to which you can find in the description and comments below, and study this for yourself, you will see that the King of the North in Daniel 11:45 is Turkey and the Muslims. This was the belief of many of our church pioneers. For instance, A.T. Jones said the following: "The King of the North is always the power occupying the territory of which Constantinople is the centre, and all the world knows that since 1453 the territory of which Constantinople is the centre has been held and ruled by the Turks. Then the King of the North at the time of the end is the Turkish dominion." So this verse is telling us that Turkey and the Muslims are going to move into Jerusalem and make it a seat of their authority. Do we have any movements of this kind going on today?
The man who fashions himself as the new sultan of a revived Ottoman Empire has big dreams, and one of them could well be to build an Islamic army against the State of Israel. A Turkish newspaper closely allied with President Recep Tayyip Erdogan and his ruling party published an article in December entitled "A Call for Urgent Action." The Middle East Media Research Institute reports it's the brainchild of one of Erdogan's closest advisors. It looks like a blueprint for an Islamic military action against Israel. It calls on the 57 Muslim nations of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, or OIC, to launch a joint military operation against Israel. Such an army would be mammoth. The OIC nations together make up more than 1.5 billion people. Whether the plan for a Muslim army to move against Israel is a serious threat or not, the fact there are voices calling for such action is alarming. The fact that it comes from persons close to Erdogan, even more alarming. And those voices in the Islamic world are not likely to go away.
ستكون عاصمتنا ليست القاهرة ولا مكة ولا المدينة وإنما القدس إن شاء الله، وسيكون هتافنا على القدس رايحين شهداء بالملايين. ستكون عاصمة الخلافة، ستكون عاصمة الولايات المتحدة العربية هي القدس إن شاء الله. ولن نوري ولن نواري ولن نداهن. نعم، هدفنا القدس، سنصلي في القدس أو ننال الشهادة على أعتاب القدس. الله أكبر.
Kardeşlerim, Abdülhamit'ten Selahaddinlere selam getirdim. Türkiye'de 70 milyon Abdülhamit var. Hepsi sizin yanınızda. في تركيا هناك 70 milyon Sultan Abdülhamit وكلهم معكم. Biz buradayız. Türkiye'deyiz. Mısır'dayız. Suriye'deyiz. Onların bombaları var, nükleer silahları var, kimyasal silahları var. Ama bizim yüreğimiz var, cesaretimiz var, Allah'tan başkasından korkmamamız var. Eğer bu ateşkes olmasaydı İstanbul, Ankara, Diyarbakır, tüm Türkiye katledeydi. Ya Türkiye tahiyyat ve min hanatina abiyyat. Ey cennetin çocukları, size sesleniyoruz. Yalnız değilsiniz, biz sizi çok seviyoruz. Ben buradan tüm İslam dünyasının liderlerine sesleniyorum. Filistin'in yanında olmayan tahtlar sağlanacaktır. Derler, Tayyip Erdoğan gibi olsun isteyecek bütün İslam halkları. Allah'ın koruduğu, meleklerin yardım ettiği Filistinli kardeşi. Elimizden gelse sizi buradan alır İstanbul'a götürürüz. İstanbul'u buraya getirir. Bu bombaların altına kendimiz gireriz. Allahu Ekber! Allahu Ekber! Eğer bu ambargo kalkmazsa bütün İslam dünyası Gazze'ye gelecek, yürüyüş yapacak. Bunu bütün alem bilsin. وَلْيَعْلَمِ الْعَالَمْ كُلُّهُ أَنَّهُ إِذَا لَمْ يُرْفَعْ الْحِصَارَ عَنْ غَزَّةَ فَأَنَّ كُلُّ مُسْلِمِي الْعَالَمْ سَيَتَحَرَّكُونَ لِيَدْخُلُوا غَزَّةَ أَجْمَعِينَ بإذن الله.
Well, that new Turkey appears to be a throwback to the very, very old Turkey. As Prime Minister Davutoglu said in 2015 that Turkey will, quote, refound the Ottoman state, or as a parliamentarian tweeted, quote, the 90-year-long commercial break of a 600-year-old empire is now over. This is not just about Turkey becoming more overtly Muslim. This is about using Islam as a unifying force in the region and using historical precedent to reclaim land that once belonged to the Ottomans. Erdogan is painting the modern international struggle as a conflict between Islam in the West, the Ummah, and Christendom. And the April 16th referendum was confirmation of this view. President Erdogan now has all the trappings of an imperial ruler: the dictatorial powers, the religious underpinnings, control of the media, and even a royal palace. With this referendum, Turkey has revived the Ottoman Empire in all but name.
Turkey is the strongest military power, military might in the region. It's the second largest army in NATO. And the statements coming out of Turkey should be very concerning to Americans. Erdogan is saying 1.5 billion Muslims are waiting for the Turkish government to rise.
Now, what do you think will happen when apostate Protestant America sees Turkey and Islam marching into Israel to take control of Jerusalem? That apostate Protestantism, which believes Islam is the Bible Antichrist and believes Israel is still God's chosen nation. The church leaders who are already dictating to the state will cause America to fight against Islamic occupation, and as Daniel 11:45 says, Turkey and Islam will come to its end, and none will help him.
For the first time in a long time, America has a president who will stand with our allies and stand up to our enemies. And under President Donald Trump, if the world knows nothing else, the world will know this: America stands with Israel.
Then that real Antichrist power, the Papal Church of Rome and the Pope, whom apostate Protestant America is uniting with, can realize a long ambition of gaining control of Israel. Sunday laws will be enforced in honor of their false Trinity God of apostate Christianity, and Satan will capture the world with his final delusions, and even impersonating the second coming of Christ. So what do we take from this? Friends, Daniel 11:45 is a marker for us to know how close we are to the close of probation. When Turkey and Islam plant the tabernacles of his palace in Jerusalem, we will know that Daniel 12:1 is about to happen. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. As the loud cry of Revelation 18 swells, and the inroads of Islam increases, the apostate Christian world will unite to fight against any form of extremism, including true Bible doctrine and those who abide by it. So we must be ready. We must be clothed with the righteous garments of Christ. Are you?